Okay, welcome back. Let's keep going. We're going to put some framing, some walls, and some doors, or walls, doors, and windows on this. And then you can add a cool other stuff you can put in here. You may want a heater or something like that. Stay warm in a bathroom. So I'll try and get as much done as I can here in this video. What I want to do is start by showing you the framing details. So what I did is I hid my couch, I hid my ladder, I brought this, so in the glasses here under hidden geometry, I brought this back by right clicking and saying show. Like this wall, for example, I could click on that and say unhide. I'm going to click off of that. I don't want to see the hidden geometry, and then I'm going to click off of the glasses, or I'm going to close this window again. Just like with Onshape, there is a tool in here called the offset tool. And it's probably used in this tool more than even in Onshape. There it is. So you can see that's going to offset it. And I could type in the distance here. And in this house for the framing, I probably would just use a 2x4, which is going to be really, it's going to be 3.5 to 3.5 inches. Enter. And that represents the 2x4 framing that we would construct this of. And really being able to detail the framing is really probably my favorite part of SketchUp, and the reason it's so valuable to us, because not only do we design things, we can build them with the model that we're about to build. So that's going to be the framing right there that I'm going to make. And what I'm going to do in this case, you see I have it highlighted, and I am going to extrude that. Now I'm going to hit Control once and let go of it. And you're going to see that it actually makes a volume there for us. And 2x4s are actually not 2 inches wide. They are 2.5, or I'm sorry, 1 3/4. So I'm going to type that in 0.1, sometimes at 1.5. It just depends on. I'm going to type in it at 1.75. And I got to make sure I put inches. There it is. Okay. Now to finish the framing details like you would need to actually build this, and it adds a lot of texture to the model, you have to do this. So this is going to be the trickiest part of the whole thing, is all these are in SketchUp, there's a bunch of faces. So I'm going to pick each of these faces that exist for this framing, and I'm going to right click and say make group. Okay, so some of you may get that problem right there where it actually greened out on us, and that's because it can't do the math. And I'm going to try it again with just two faces, and then it was able to take it. So it's one of the bugaboos about this SketchUp for schools. You got to do this kind of a couple faces at a time. And then I'm going to continue to make groups. So I'm continue to select that, and then I'm going to select this back face. And I'm going to only add two faces at a time. There it is, make group. And let me see, I may need to get that face. I bet I need to get this under face. Make group. And pretty much, I think I've got them all except for maybe this inside face. Check this one, those two. I need to get those two, maybe this one. There's three faces I'm going to try and add by right click make group. See if I can pick anything else. No, I think it's all picked now. All right, I just lost my screen. There it is. I'm going to zoom out here. Okay. So framing is built by the builders with an understanding of of what is they call on center. So how far is each frame element away from the other one? So typically for a shed like this, we could go as far as to say, let's at least try 12-inch on centers. You could do up to 16 or 24-inch on centers for certain structures. I'll show you what the difference looks like here, okay? But see, I have that group still highlighted, and what I can do is move it. And I could move it, but I want to hit control and let go. And that way it'll make a copy And you can see down in the right-hand corner, it's kind of like indicating how far. So if I do 2 feet, if I dare to make this structure at 2 feet, so I type in 2 feet, and then I'll hit enter. And there's a 2 foot spacing. I think for this utility shed, that should be enough. And then I can hit enter and then also type in X. And this time I'm going to, since this thing is 20 feet long, I know I'm going to at least need 20 of them. So I put in the X and the 20. You have to look in the right-hand corner, guys, to know what I'm doing here. And then hit enter. Oh, you know what? My bad. 2 feet spacing, 20-foot structure is only going to be 10 of them. So I missed that, but that's okay because I don't need to even redo it. I can just do a pick window, select them all, hit delete. All right, there we go. We got my framing in, okay? And if I had, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna undo this. I'm gonna do something here, which is paint. And I'm gonna paint this in wood coloring. Now I'm gonna redo that. Take that group, Control, slide it, type in 2 feet, enter, and then X without hitting anything else. That's the trick, guys. And cool. Okay, so that's the framing I would really want to put down, and then I would actually try and put a floor on top of that, and I can hang walls on the inside of that. That's how you would actually build. So I'm going to go ahead and try and do a couple things, and then put in some doors and windows. So one of the things I'm going to do, I mentioned you could just floor this. Let me go ahead and try that. And um, there you go. I'm going to pick right there. And then it put that flooring, subflooring down there for me. And I'm going to leave the walls exposed like that and leave the framing exposed and have that be an element of the architecture inside this. So I'm not really going to put drywall on the inside just yet, okay? But I am going to put some, what I'd like to do is, um, well, I'm going to go ahead and just right now put the door in and a couple windows. So I'm going to pick from right here at the bottom of the sill, drag up, and you see how I can also type in the dimensions of the door. I think a lot of doors are, 3 feet by 8 feet. So I'm going to keep this simple and just type in 3 feet, comma, 8 feet. That's a little tall on that door. It's not really working for this structure and my design intent. I think I'm gonna get bougie on it maybe and make it a little wider. So I'm gonna highlight this edge. I can recreate it, or I can just go move it. Yeah, look at my fat body. Now, to keep this super simple, I could just paint this wood and say, that's my door, and or extrude it and make it thick to make it like a door. And I also could go get a door, which is, a neat option that you guys, I know, have already started playing with. And you'll see there's lots of cool doors that they have online. And whether or not this really fits in my opening, I won't really know till I get it down here. Did I not say download? Here it is. Download it. There we go. Gotta wait till it puts that compass on the floor. There we go. Rotate it 90. Um, on it right there on our sill. Now, what I'll do is I would frame this end wall, this gable, to come out to the door. So I could fit that door. So this. Move this edge first. That's probably the most annoying thing about SketchUp is, having to just go back to the mouse. It doesn't like Onshape. It's not like Onshape, and you just hit escape. You see how it's moving at like those weird angles, and sometimes if that happens, just be careful with it because you can really tweak stuff. It's almost better maybe if you just redraw this edge here. Here it goes all the way over, and then I can actually just pick this line. It goes. Now this, show this to you from the other side here. This face that I built, actually I just ended up deleting the door. I was going to say I can actually delete that face out of there, and then we could go put that door back in there, and now it should fit. Um, okay, and then let's go do some windows. So windows, this is an opportunity for us to see that, you would probably want to be able to space those smartly with inside of your stud locations, your wall stud locations. Now she's going to give me a good indication of how high I want these windows. I like long windows, so I will dare to put in a long, skinnier window. We like big windows in Texas. Um, but in this case, I'm going to dare to just go here with a rectangular window, and I'm going to go ahead and see if it will allow me to put in. See how it is struggling to attach another one to this one? So in that case, I'm going to use the old-fashioned trick of I put that line so close to the stud that it's really frustrating me, so I'm going to redo it. And then I'm going to pull away from the stud a little bit. It really wants to automatically clip to it, the wall stud there. I'm going to pull off a bit, just a little bit. So I don't, well, it still automatically clip to it. So I'm going to try this one more time. There we go. And then I can move it later. There we go. And then for the framing, what we would do is create the header and sill boards that will go across. And usually you'll have two 2x4s to do that. And then I'm going to create another window like that. So I'm going to highlight it and hold control. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and move it. But again, I'm going to hit control once and let go and just slide it over. Perfect. To keep this exercise simple, I'm just going to delete those. Actually, not going to delete them. I'm going to show you a trick. You are going to go to the material tab here and make them glass. This will save us a little time. And then I'm going to spin around, and you got to do it on the inside too. There we go. Got some windows started. Got a door. Let's get that in position. Gotta highlight it. Okay. Now, I'm gonna view that from this tension. this orientation. So getting that inset into a perfect wall perfectly is a little bit more work, but for this exercise, I think I'm just going to show it this way. Now, the one last thing that's, you're kind of, you obviously wouldn't have the brick showing like that in your construction through, although that's a neat element. Um, so to actually add the thickness of this wall, I can actually highlight the whole thing. Um, and in this case, this face right here, I don't, to not be able to see that, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this out. You see how I can pull the whole thing out like that? And I'm just going to go ahead and pull it out. Let's say, I think a 3-inch brick is typical. Oops, 3-inch. So you can see I'm actually making the walls now. Now, once I get my wall out, I would actually want to reconstruct my roof. But I think if you can just get this level done on your model today, that would be really cool. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. And then we'll probably have one more tutorial to finish this project. Have fun with it. Ta-ta.